can feel the magic in the air, knowing miracles are everywhere when you listen to the wisdom of your heart. Listen with your heart. Listen with your heart.
Today's question is from a woman who says, "Dear Eve, I have a great fear of being attracted to the same type of person as my ex-husband. I've been separated now for almost 3 years and hope to be divorced very soon. There will never be a reconciliation. He is a man who plays mind games and is obsessed with drinking, and has had many affairs, and has verbally and physically is abusive. I know what I want, but at the same time, I'm very afraid of never finding it. I need someone who will, above all, be someone that I can respect. I am searching for someone who is professional and well-respected, someone who respects himself as well as others. I sincerely hope that you will be able to give me some help. I would truly like to know what you think. Please help." So this is a great question. One of the things we always want to be watchful for is the kind of person that we're attracting. But before we look outside of ourselves for the kind of person that we're seeking and attracting, you always want to start with what's on the inside. And it sounds to me like this is a pretty quick thing. If you've been going through this for the last 3 years, but you're still married, I really encourage you to take some time to clean up the previous marriage before you seek your next partner. Because there's somebody else out there going, gosh, I really want to find the woman for me. I want to find someone who's available, ready to love me, fully present. And then when they meet you, the catch is that you're not available yet. So I invite you to do that personal work first. But on with your question, one of the things you want to watch for, and this is something that I've found fascinating, is that people at the very beginning of a relationship often will tell us or show us exactly what's going to go wrong. And I wouldn't be surprised if that happened in your relationship with your husband. They'll say things like, I'm not dependable, or I'm not interested in monogamy, or our religious difference are going to be a problem, or I'm not a good relationship person, I'm not good at relationship. And they'll tell us these things right from the very beginning, but in our desire to have a relationship, we think we can fix that. Oh, when it's me that they love, they'll change that. Or, oh, that's okay, we'll work that out. When in fact, that very thing will come back to haunt you later. So be watching for what people say to you, what you observe, and what I call those little red flags, those things they let you know that you want to make sure aren't huge flapping red flags that you need to pay attention to. I also invite you to hold your clarity in mind, because it sounds like you're really clear about what it is you want. You want a professional, somebody respectful, and you want somebody who respects themselves. That's really great to know. I call these non-negotiables, and it's important to sit down and list what are my non-negotiables and what are things that maybe just fit in the preference category. So having somebody who's tall might be a preference, but it's not a requirement. Somebody who's less tall could certainly be the perfect match. But having somebody who's respectful toward themselves and others, now that's a non-negotiable, and one you don't want to waver on. It's not just a preference. So it's really important that we spend some time identifying those things, because I've found that people get their preferences mixed up with their non-negotiables sometimes. So take that time to list what it is you want, what it is that you are absolute about, and things that might just be preferences but possibly negotiable. I then invite you to take a look at yourself and ask yourself, are you living in alignment with your non-negotiables? Are you a professional, if that's what you're seeking? Are you respectful of others, if that's what you're seeking? Are you respectful of yourself, if that's what you're seeking? I call it being a lightning rod for what you want to attract, and we want to be that which we want to be in relationship with. So if we're looking for somebody who's fit, we want to be somebody who's fit. If we want to look for somebody who's active or intelligent or who reads books, we want to be somebody who does those things. So take a look and make sure that you're being in alignment with what you're wanting to attract. One other thing that I think is really helpful to keep in mind is, because you mentioned fear, that you're worried that you're going to attract somebody that you don't want, or keep that same pattern going that you don't want to create. is to recognize that there's a real beauty in that fear. And what most of us do is we have that fear sabotage us. Like, I'm afraid I'm going to get the same kind of guy, so we don't go out dating. Instead, this fear is a gift. It's saying to you, I don't want this. And it's simultaneously showing you what you do want. So I like to reframe fear as something that's beautiful. And the beauty of fear is it's like a boulder on the ground, but underneath that is the treasure that you want. And if you align your behavior with your fear, you're going to be a lightning rod for what you don't want. If you align your behavior, your words, your thoughts, and your actions with the treasure underneath the rock, then you're going to bring in what you do want. For instance, if my fear is that my husband's going to cheat on me and that's my fear boulder, then my behavior is to be more suspicious, more distrusting, more snoopy, more snippy, less intimate, all of these behaviors that are likely to create my husband to seek companionship elsewhere. If I look underneath that fear boulder and I say what's underneath it is that I love my partner and I want to create loving, harmonious, intimate relationship with him, and I align my behavior with that, I'm going to be more loving, more kind, more gracious, more open, more accepting, and more intimate in such a way that he's more likely to be drawn to me and not even consider seeking elsewhere. So as you go forth, when you feel that fear coming up, allow it to just reveal to you. Instead of getting stuck there, allow it to reveal to you by just looking a little deeper what it is that you treasure, what it is you care about, what it is you're passionate about, and align your efforts with that. Then you will attract that which you truly seek.
Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart.